everybody. I'm sitting in a darkened room today because it's so hot outside that I decided to not go out anymore. I'd been out this morning. I had to take my cat to the vets to get him castrated because he's getting a bit horny, basically, to put it quite mildly. He's driving me mad at night time. He just wants to go out. He's climbing up the fly screens. Every opportunity he wants to get out, he tries to take it. So this morning I took him to the vets to get him castrated, so I've got some peace and quiet today. I should pick him up tomorrow if all goes well. Not only that, I've been to the wholesalers this morning picking up some beverages for our store. And then I went and done some shopping, etc. Now, the reason I'm really making this video is because over the past week I have watched 2 videos, and as you know, I don't put videos out every day. I don't get paid for YouTube, so I just make a video when something attracts me, something gets my inner feelings going. And like I said, I don't get paid for YouTube, so I don't do it every day. Maybe when we start building a house in Cordova, then I may do a daily one on the actual build, because I've got a lot of experience at the moment. I've been here 3.5 years, and I've got a lot of experience with renovating this house and the pros and cons of contracts, day rates, and basically all the issues that you get with people. Now, there's 2 videos I watched this week. One was from a guy from Dumagetti. He's quite a popular guy. I like him. I mean, I've watched him for almost 3 years, and Dumagetti was my chosen choice at the beginning. Until I saw the light, and he was talking about budgets. He was talking about his 6 monthly budget. Now, I've known this guy, not personally, but via YouTube, for almost 3 years. When he first moved here, or was through the Philippines, Dumagetti, he and the other guy that died a few months ago, forget his name now, they were living next door to each other in a compound in Dumagetti. Mark, that was his name, Mark, who unfortunately died a few months ago. They were living next door to each other in a little compound with some other foreigners, and I think they were paying $4,000 a month for their room. It was only a small room with a, basically a room with a small living room and partitioned off for the bedroom, etc. And they said, about girls, and gave you all sorts of advice and everything else. And Mark Thornton was his name. Sorry, I keep forgetting his name. Mark Thornton, he lived next door to this guy. Anyway, I watched his video and I didn't quite I think he wasn't really telling the whole truth. He was saying that you can live on, or he lives on $2,000 a month. Now, I believe he was just living on the American Social Security at the time, which I don't know what it is. I think it's about 1,600, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But he said he can live on $2,000. Now, he's married now. And he said that he's got a motorbike. His now wife's got a motorbike. And they've also got a car. Now, when I first knew him, or watched him on YouTube, he basically didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. And this is where it's slightly confusing when he says he can live on $2,000 a month, because I don't think he's really telling the whole truth, because they're not revealing how much they actually get paid for YouTube. So I know he's buying some land. He's had problems with the paperwork on the land. And I know he also plans to build his wife a house, which is a good thing. So when, as he says, if anything happens to him, his wife has always got a roof over her head, which is good. But when he said that he lives on $2,000 a month, I thought, well, hang on, is that your social security check? Or are you including some of the YouTube money that you get? Because over the years, he must have accumulated quite a bit of YouTube money, and now his wife's got a YouTube channel. So he's putting a bit by every month for savings, and they go out quite a lot, and you know, they generally live well. I think he said he only pays $400 rent, which is up in Valencia, which is good. He does say that if he moves to a bigger or somewhere else, it will cost him $700 a month now, because since he's lived there, the rents haven't gone up, which is great. But a lot of these YouTubers, and I'm not just pinpointing this particular one, but a lot of the YouTubers that I have watched over the years basically started with nothing. And now, over the years, as they've done YouTubing, they've acquired, you know, they're building a house, they're doing this, they're doing that. And it makes you wonder that when they say that they're living on social security checks, in a way they're not. It's a bit of a lie, really. I don't think it's intentional, or they don't want you to know how much they're getting from YouTube, but they are getting money from YouTube. Now, I watch a couple on YouTube every night. They don't do basically anything. They may go to the town occasionally for his medical checkups, and they just basically do videos in the home. You know, they don't do anything special, which is like a normal couple in the Philippines. Now, he spent a few days in hospital, and I think it cost him $40 a day to stay in hospital. And someone made a comment that you're only staying in hospital to make money from YouTube. And he replied, you know, that is a stupid comment, because he only gets $35 per video from YouTube. So why would he do that if he's got to pay $40 to stay in a hospital? But that gives you a bit of a benchmark if they're paying $35 for a video, because this couple that I watch make a video every day. So they're getting about $500 or $600 per month if they do a video every day. And it's not a fantastic video. It's interesting, but, you know, he's not traveling or anything. It's just a everyday video about their life. So it makes you wonder, when these people say that they're living on their social security, it's all bullshit, because they're not, because they are actually living on their YouTube, and it's people like you and me. I'm not calling the kettle black. I watch these videos as well, and I am giving them money. You know, like I said, my videos I don't get paid for, because I've only got 500 odd subscribers, and my views don't qualify me for money. But it doesn't bother me. But some of these people, and I've noticed it with a lot of people, the bloggers, especially the Americans, and I'm not knocking Americans, it's just that the majority of them in the Philippines are Americans. They tend to steal some of the issues or topics that I use. and I've noticed that they interview each other, and you know, they repeat things all the time because it's just, at the end of the day, it's money for them. I do it because I want to put a video out, because I've got a complaint about something, or something gets up my nose about something. So that's my take on that one. I'm sorry, I've got implants that make my mouth water. So if you're going to comment, comment. The other video I watched was last night, actually, and it was a black guy. And he sounded English, but he kept saying he's going back to work in Europe, and he's been scammed. It's quite a sad story when you listen to it, but it happens everywhere, especially here in the Philippines. But people still don't learn. Apparently, he met a girl who's got a young daughter. He fell in love with her. I can't remember if he got married. I think he did get married to her. But then he bought a house, bought a land, or built a house, or bought a house and renovated it and whatever. And then he went back to Europe and worked for a few months and came back again. And during that time, he bought a fishing boat as well. He bought a fishing boat on the understanding, or so he thought, that every day they have a catch of fish, they went 50-50 on the proceeds with him, money-wise. Anyway, he got this fishing boat, and he got a house renovated, or bought a house, or built a house. I'm not really sure, but he went away again for 3 months, and when he came back, he felt as if something wasn't right. And not only that, but when he asked about the fishing boat when he was in Europe, his wife kept coming up with excuses that it was bad weather, they couldn't go out today because the nets were broken, or whatever. So he felt something was strange. He felt as if he was being pushed out. And he pointed out that it was the girl's mother that seemed to be behind all this. But the reason he found out was because a relative, which is very rare in the Philippines, a relative, apparently the girl sold the house and she got 1.5 million or something back in cash. And this family member wanted to borrow some money from her. It was only about 3,000 pesos, which, you know, isn't much really. But they refused. So the relative contacted this man and told him what was going on. That they had been fishing. They've been doing it every day. She sold the house. They believe it's the mother that is the instigator and trying to get as much money out of him as possible. And so he felt he was scammed. Well, what can I say? What can I say? You know, it's not good going away for 3 months working and then coming back, because while the cat's away, the mice do play, as they say. And a lot of the parents, or mothers especially, are very conniving. It's all about money. It's not about relationships. And if you think that they love you, they may do. But they also listen to their mothers and their family members. And he also got a lawyer. And the lawyer, every time he asked the lawyer to do something, the lawyer never done it. And he also feels that the lawyer is partly involved with the family as well. So basically, you know, the guy, give him his due. I'll give him his due. He said that he's not going to worry about it. It's only money. You know, you can't take it with you, which is a saying my mother always used to say. And he's not going to cry over spilt milk, really. He's lost the money, that's it. But this is another thing with relationships. You know, he was saying he got hold of a lawyer, and I don't know whether this is true or not, but he said if you're going to buy a piece of land and build a house on it, then he said, now I don't know whether this is, I think this is wrong, you can lease the land to your wife, say for 50 years at £1 per year. So when all the papers are signed, you give her 50 peso and that's it. The land is leased in her name, but he said that the house can be in your name. Now I don't think that's 100%. Not unless the law's changed, I do not know. I know you can buy condominiums, but I don't know about a house. Anyway, that I'm not particularly bothered. But you got to be very careful when you're picking these partners. You know, I know when you're madly in love, you're blind and you just give them anything that they want. But yeah, I wouldn't rush into anything. I've been very, very lucky with my so-called partner. Like I said before, she's a transgender. We're not in any form of relationship, but we formed a friendship relationship, not romantic or sexual or anything like that. And she's at work at the moment in her mum's sari store. She goes at 9 o'clock in the morning and doesn't come home sometimes till 10 o'clock at night. So I'm in the house on my own, which I quite enjoy. I'm with my cat. I potter around. I do shopping. I cook and everything else. But I'm very, very lucky because this house that I'm in, it's in her name. But I also got an agreement that she cannot kick me out. So if we decided to end our relationship, well, it's not even a relationship, end our friendship, I can still live in this house until the day I die. And the day after I die, I don't give a damn what happens to the house. But this is the trust that we've got in each other. You know, we bought land in Cordova because we want to build a house there. But a lot of these relationships, love's blind. It's all about trust. And you don't have to, you know, it takes a bit of time. When I first came here, I rented a house in Song, which I hated. I detested it. So we decided that, you know, let's find a house nearer where her parents, where her mum lives. And lo and behold, and luckily for us, this one house came up for sale. So I put in an offer, which was accepted. It needed a lot of work done it, but I don't pay rent on this house. It's quite a big house. It's 2 minutes walk from Metro, 2 minutes walk to my bank. You know, DIY shop down the road, everything. So I'm quite happy. And then we invested in some rooms that we rent. And it's all based on trust. You know, the rental money that I get on the rooms, it comes to me. I use that for my weekly and monthly shopping and bills because she gets her meals down where the sari store is. So I just cook my lunch, which is just basically an apple or something. And then in the evening I cook veg and chicken, whatever. And then I just, you know, sit with the cat and just wait for her to come in. And then we chat for maybe half an hour. And then that's it. And then we go off to our separate rooms. So, you know, I think a lot of it is dependent on the age of the person that you're going to be a partner with. I've found that I'm not talking about big age gaps. If it's a big age gap, then, you know, you could have problems. But I find that with the younger ones, they're more interested in what they can get. They're more interested in the money. And that's not everybody. Don't get me wrong, that's not everybody. But I find if they're middle-aged, and and their partners is a lot older than them, they tend to appreciate living together more than the young ones. But that's only my opinion. But anyway, this guy, I think he still lives in the Philippines, or he went back to, he keeps referring to Europe for 3 months to work. And he's not, you know, he said he was scammed, but everyone gets scammed in the Philippines in some way or another. You got to realise that the people in the Philippines have nothing. So they will scam you in the slightest way possible just to get a few peso, whether it's overcharging you for a job and when they know that you're a foreigner and they do a little job in the house for you, they will charge you 200 or 300 peso more, because it's their way of getting a bit extra. But is that a scam? I don't know. Anyway, that's my take on it. That's my rant for today. Like I said, I don't get paid for these videos. Maybe in 20 years' time I may get paid, but anyway, I just do it when I want to do it, when something appeals to me. But if you watch these people on a regular basis, then you are providing them with a lot of money. Even some people send donations to bloggers. Send them donations to do things on their house. If you come over to the Philippines, my view is, if you come over to the Philippines to live or make a fresh start in life, you should have enough in the bank or enough support, whether it's family or whatever, to be able to survive. You shouldn't have to rely on donations. Like some of these expats, they have to have they spend $100 every month on coffee. They've got to go out for a coffee every morning to go to a certain cafe along the promenade and chat with other expats. That's the last thing I want to do. I would sooner have an instant coffee, boil a kettle, sit here in the cool, not getting interrogated by other expats about my life, and that's it. Anyway, I've had enough. It's 3:10 on Monday afternoon. My cat should be under the knife by now. I pick him up tomorrow. I've got CCTV man coming tomorrow to look at the rooms so I can put some cameras up. All at my own cost. It's not a donation. I'm not being sponsored by anyone. I pay for things myself, because when I came to the Philippines, I was prepared to start a new life and not rely on other people. And, you know, it all boils down to trust. Anyway, the times I say anyway. Have a good day, have a good week, and I'll send you a next video when something upsets me. Well, I'm actually watching 2 videos at the moment. One is about Vitaly. He's an American and a Russian that acted a right, can I say it, prick in the Philippines, stealing security blokes' hats, taking a bike, making rude gestures with a banana, threatened to rob a woman. He's been held in prison, and apparently he's suffering because he's got withdrawal symptoms from whatever substance he was on. I feel so sorry for him. And his trial won't be for another 2 or 3 years. And there was another one called Jolly Somali, or whatever his name is, and his boyfriend Hank in South Korea. He has got about 7 charges pending. He had his first court appearance was on Friday, where he owned up to about, I think, pleaded guilty 4 times, and there's 3 other pending. In August, he goes to the court for all the hearings when witnesses can speak and everything. But I think if you go by the book, he's facing up to about 31 years in prison. Obviously, I don't think he'd get that. But in both samples, for Taddy and this Johnny Somali, the governments have said they will set an example for these two people, and they should. What they did, Johnny Somali went in a 7-Eleven, throwing noodles everywhere, taking smelly fish on buses, upsetting people. He even threatened, well, he didn't threaten, well, I suppose he did really. He even threatened a Navy SEAL, South Korean Navy SEAL, to come after him. You know, he sort of called his bloke, if you want me, come after me. And the guy didn't, he punched him. And apparently he was charged with assault, but people were so in support of this Navy SEAL that they donated money on Fund Me, whatever it is, and they paid for his legal fees. All because of this Johnny Somali, which looks like a black Marty Feldman, if people can remember him. Anyway, that's it. I'm watching them two with interest. So if you're not heard of them, go on YouTube. Vitaly, he's an American Russian. He's a dickhead, and see some of the antics that he's up to. And then Johnny Somali, he's another idiot, and with his boyfriend Hank, who shouts at everyone, but apparently is as soft as shit. So keep watching, but when it comes to budgets, it's up to you. Make sure you got enough. Anyway, see you later. Be good. Bye.